This is the Moose test. The test became world famous when the Mercedes A-Class not only failed the test, but failed in dramatic style. The A-Class had a tall body combined with a short wheelbase design, which is great for passenger space, but makes the centre of gravity really high, meaning that the car is easier to roll over when cornering hard. More recently, lots of well-known cars have been failing the test too. The 2016 Toyota Hilux failed the test when it nearly rolled running the test at the required 43 miles an hour. The actual problem with the Hilux was that the front of the car had too much grip and the rear didn't have enough. And in general, SUVs struggle with this test. And this was also the case with the Toyota RAV4, which failed in 2020, and then again in 2021 with the revised version of the car. The same happened to the 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, only this one actually ripped the tyres off the rims. Watch here. Then the Porsche Macan had a different issue with the Moose test. It used a system that engaged the brakes on selected wheels to prevent rollovers, but this only created understeer, meaning that the Porsche failed the test anyway. Two of the most recent failures are for a different reason. The Volkswagen Passat GTE and the Skoda Superb are both cars that are hybrid versions on a combustion engine platform. Both cars failed the test when the rear kept losing grip, and it's thought this is down to the batteries being fitted in the rear of the car. And perhaps the most surprising is the BMW M3 Competition, a car that is made to be great on the track. And the problem here was that the car rotated perfectly, but the rear would slide around. There are some cars that you might not expect that really excel. The first being the Tesla Model X. The Model X has placed its weight in the right place, in the floor and centered in the middle. This means that despite it being much heavier than some of its combustion engine competitors, it can complete the test at up to 45 miles an hour. However, best of all is the car that has held the record for over 20 years. Now, you would have thought this is a light, nimble sports car, maybe a Lotus or a Porsche. But the thing is that supercars really don't perform that well in these tests, as they're tuned for perfect balance in longer corners. The winner is actually the mighty Citroën Xantia, a very normal family saloon from 1999, and it achieved an incredible speed of 52.8 miles an hour. Firstly, this car had a computer-controlled active suspension system, which was said to offer roll-free F1 style cornering like the famous Williams FW14B, a car that used hydraulic suspension that could adapt to every corner on a circuit. And where normal suspension would overload the outside wheels and lift the inside wheels, the Citroën could manage the load on each tyre, improving overall cornering grip. The Xantia is capable of almost instantaneously adjusting the ride height of the car with its variable shock absorbers and can do it 400 times a second. This means the mighty Xantia can change from a soft to a firm suspension in less than half a second. And all this means that the car actually leans into the corners and controls the weight transfer perfectly, meaning it's never been beaten.